Hey everybody. In this video I want to discuss a very hot topic in the world of nutrition, gluten. I want to describe what gluten is and some of the health issues around gluten and the gluten-free craze, if you're familiar with that. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. But most importantly also my personal experience with gluten, which doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same thing you're going to experience. So first of all, what is gluten? Well, gluten is a protein. It's a protein in wheat, barley, and rye. So most of your breads and pastas and cereals and cookies and crackers, contain gluten unless they're certified gluten-free and use alternative flours like rice flour, potato starch, tapioca, corn, things like that. So what you have to understand is that being a protein, most allergies and intolerances to food are associated with proteins. When people have allergies to strawberries or something like that, it's the protein that's in strawberries. Not that strawberries are a good source of protein, but there are protein molecules in there. And so when we develop sensitivities and allergies to things, it's associated with the protein. So gluten just happens to be one of the most popular, one of the most troublesome proteins in the food landscape. So that's where this whole craze of gluten-free has come from. I myself, over the past decade or so, with all the research and the things that I've read about gluten, have pretty much convinced myself that it's something to be avoided. I personally don't feel any GI issues when I consume gluten. I adhere to a gluten-free diet, but on occasion, if I'm in a situation where there's something that I figure might be worth trying, I do. But I'll tell you from my personal experience that too much gluten in my life, first and foremost, my eczema. I used to have it on my elbows and my ears and my eyes, and on my hands used to crack and all over the place. I know, it's pretty gross, right? But the thing is the more gluten I eat on a regular basis, the worse my eczema gets. Okay. Also, I know that it has an effect on my state of mind, especially things like anxiety. So these are my personal experiences with gluten, so I pretty much avoid it whenever possible. But again, if I want a piece of pizza every once in a while, and every once in a while for me is like every couple of months, I do. But what you have to understand is that the best way to determine if you have a gluten intolerance or even a gluten allergy is that lab testing isn't always the best. The benchmark, the industry standard for identifying intolerances to food is a food elimination diet. So probably at least 30 days of taking gluten out of your diet for, during that time period and finding alternatives and to see how you look, feel, and perform. And then you can reintroduce it and see what type of results you get. So gluten's a tough one. 30 days might not be enough, but it's a start. But give it a shot. You can certainly get a hold of me, ask questions below, some comments and your experience with gluten, and then we can figure out what might be good for you, a good place to start, or alternatives. Because let's face it, breads and pastas, they're delicious, but they're not nutrient-dense real food. It's a highly refined processed product, and we typically use it in conjunction with other things. Many of us don't just consume pasta plain or bread plain. We usually have lots of things to go with it. So here at Imperfect Dietitian, we stress nutrient-dense real food, nourishing the body, not just feeding the body. Unfortunately, things like gluten are very convenient and very inexpensive, but it's one of the leading causes of healthcare issues in America today. Not gluten per se, but refined grains in general. So on that note, if you do follow a gluten-free diet, but you're eating all this gluten-free processed stuff, you might want to rethink what's going on there too, because when it comes to metabolic disorders, things like diabetes and obesity, even inflammation, you have to understand that just because it's gluten-free doesn't mean it's good for you. So educate yourself, ask the right questions. Certainly, you can ask me the questions and leave your comments, like I said. Please subscribe to the channel and let me know what you think, and let's produce some content that really can help people change their lives. So it's all about being happier and healthier. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.